What is going on this morning, Americans? Jericho Green here with you once again. I got to give a shout out to my man Christian holding down Capitola. He sent me this story. You may or may not have heard about it, but there are new requirements for SATs. There's a new way for you to get your poor ass into Harvard and other universities. Apparently, the nonprofit company that administers the SAT tests is going to have a new point system, and it's not just based on what's in between your ears like it has been for years, and as any college admittance test. That's how you say that, right? Any test to get into a college should be based on your intelligence, your smarts, your brains. Not anymore. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's called the Environmental Context Dashboard. Now, environmental sounds good. Context is always important. Dashboard. I thought those were only in cars, but whatever, we learn something new every day. Basically, this says it takes into consideration your socioeconomic status, the median income in your household, the crime rate in your area, the number of kids graduating from your high school. It takes into consideration all these different things, and you're given points based on which one of these boxes you check. So, if you come from a high crime area, single parent home, shitty school, stuff like that, you get points. And the points go from 1 to 100. Basically, the more fucked up your life is and your beginnings are, the more points you get. The better your life is and your upbringing is or was, you get less points. Now, schools have gotten in trouble for this shit. You remember Yale was under attack. They got sued by some Asian students because they were basically fucking the Asian students over, saying that, oh, well, we didn't like your personality or something along those lines, something that they really couldn't prove. Something that if the kid got denied admittance to the school, they couldn't be like, well, they did this or they did that because it's, personality, or they didn't like the way the interview went, some shit like that, where they can say, well, we just didn't like you. Not their scores. Their scores are high enough. But it doesn't matter how intelligent you are to get into a college. Now let that shit sink in. How stupid does that sound when you say it out loud? This is just another form of affirmative action. Now, I said before, affirmative action had its place when there were actual laws on the books that said colored people couldn't do this, couldn't do that. We're not allowing this. You can't go here. There were laws on the books. So this systemic racism that these green-haired, soft handshake fucking idiots keep telling you about, that's what they meant. Those laws and systems are no longer in place. But when you allow people to get into places they don't belong, they don't last. They can't make it. They're not equipped to survive in that environment. It's around 80% of colored students that are admitted through affirmative action drop out because they weren't supposed to be there in the first place. But what are they doing this in the name of? Why are they doing this? Where are they sacrificing these poor kids who want to get into these schools but they can't because their life was too good? They're being sacrificed at the altar of diversity. That's right. It's all about diversity. They want to see a little more color in there. They want to see more colored folk on campus. It does nothing but make them feel better. It doesn't help the campus at all. It doesn't help the kids. So you got kids in it, and it breeds animosity. Because if you're sitting there, you studied your ass off. You skipped all this fun. All your friends are going out partying, getting fucked up. You're in there burning the midnight oil, studying. Pressure from your parents. You're busting your ass to get into that school. Then you sit next to this fucking idiot who's not even supposed to be there. How do you think that makes them feel? How do you think that would make them look at colored students? It's not right. If you can't get in because you're not smart enough, then I guess you can't fucking get in. What's wrong with that? This is that participation trophy bullshit. If you can't cut it, man, you can't cut it. That's what made this country great, is our cutthroat mentality. You get in where you fit in. If you're not good enough to get into this college, pick another one. What is the problem? Stop lowering the fucking bar. It's like walking in a rainstorm. These kids are walking in torrential downpour trying to get to school. All the white kids and the Asian kids are out there suffering, getting soaked, getting colds. What do? They come and put an umbrella over the colored kids, over the black kids and the Mexican kids, the Hispanics, how they describe them, whatever. So the blacks and the Hispanics, they give them the Farnsworth Bentley treatment. Someone's sitting there covering them with an umbrella so they don't get a cold, so they don't get wet. Well, that's fucked up. Why are you leaving them out there in the rain, but you're helping these fools? Either everybody gets an umbrella or everybody is walking their ass in the rain. What's it gonna be? What if you're the parent of a child who scored highly on their SATs? This college says you need to get this score higher to come here. Boom, your kid nails it. Then they go to this environmental context dashboard and they're like, oh, let's see. Your parents made good money. You came from a low crime area. Tons of kids graduated from most of the seniors graduated from your high school. Your life was good. You get 25 points. Let's see here. You, single parent home, lots of violence, hardly anybody graduated from your shitty high school, your parents didn't make a lot of money, you get 100 points. How fucked up is that? And like I said, not only are you screwing over kids who should be there because they're qualified, you're setting these kids up for failure that you're letting in there based on this ridiculous fucking system. They can't cut it. So they'll get in there, but as soon as the test scores come out, they gotta drop them and let them go because they can't fucking cut it. What happened in Sink or Swim? I'll take a quote from the great cinematic achievement known as "Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood." And I quote, "If you can't swim, you bound to drizown." That's it. Now, on one hand, this country is very generous and giving and kind. But on the other hand, if you can't cut it, get the fuck out of the way. I remember when I graduated from boot camp, and you go home on leave, if you can, if you don't got to go straight to school. Well, I take that back. I did my schooling, then I took leave. When I came off of leave, I joined the fleet. You go to your ship. You know, it's all right, mom, dad, whoever, friends, family, I'm out. Boom, U.S. Navy, what's up? And I remember that feeling of showing up, and I remember feeling like, man, I'm on my own. Nobody gives a shit about me, it's just me. And I remember the feeling, it's kind of like everybody else is walking in a fast pace, and you're not walking fast enough, and people are just blowing by you, bumping into you. Like, move, get the fuck out of my way. I remember that feeling. Like, I'm in the real world now. Sink or swim. That's real life. Those are the lessons kids need to learn. Not, oh, don't worry, you can't climb over that. Here, let me get you a stool. Oh, man, you can't climb over the fence. Here, let me hold the fence up for you so you can crawl under it instead of climbing over it. Which creates more character and makes you a better person. Not lowering the fucking standards so you can get somewhere where you don't belong. Remember sitting at the little kids' table, looking in the living room and the dining room, like, damn, I want to be in there with the adults. You're not ready yet. You're not supposed to be in there. We need to get back to that. We need to get back, not only like Trump's doing the merit-based immigration, we need to have a merit-based educational system when it comes to college. We did. I don't know what happened. But taking into consideration where a kid comes from, So you're being penalized because your parents provided a good life for you and raised you in a good area? I thought that was a good thing. I thought that's what you were supposed to do. But apparently, in the world of college admissions, that counts against you. So parents, we got to blow it all up. We got to start from scratch. One of your parents got to leave. You got to leave so one can raise a kid, single parent home. That's points. You got to move to a shitty neighborhood. That's points. All you kids had to do your homework on the floor because there were bullets flying through your fucking window. That's more points. So parents, one of you has to leave. You got to move to a shitty area and put them in a shitty school to prepare them for college. What the fuck? But that's what this is saying. All in the name of diversity. Diversity is not our strength. I want diversity when I'm trying to choose a place to eat. If I go out for ice cream, I want some diversity. But I don't want diversity at the expense of a child's or a young adult's education. Or at the expense of what my kid. They can't get in because I did too good of a job raising them. My bad. Diversity of thought is our strength. Not diversity of our fucking appearance. I don't care what you look like. What are you bringing to the table? I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care who you're fucking. What are you bringing to the table? That's all we care about. We being decent people. We being the average person. And they also mention that college admission scandal where you had those rich people, paying off teachers and shit, administrators, and having people take the test for their kids. Because, mostly white kids benefited from that. What does that have to do with your college admission scores? There's shit like that going on all the time. You think no colored people have ever paid off administrators or had someone take an SAT test for their kid? That's not just one group that does. That's not one race of people that does that. Corruption goes across all color lines. Always has, always will. But you're fucking these kids over by lowering the bar, by basically rewarding them from coming from a shitty background. And there are kids that come from bad situations who are smart and intelligent. It happens. Everybody doesn't need a fucking handout all the time and a hand up. Just give them the opportunity. They will do the rest. But being rewarded for that and then being penalized because you didn't do that, because you didn't raise your kids in a fucking war zone, because you did stay together. You did take the right steps to provide a good life, a good quality of life for your family. You asshole. Why'd you do that? Why'd you work hard for your family to provide them a better life than you had? You piece of shit. You got it all wrong. Turn in that nice car, sell that nice house, get the fuck out of that nice neighborhood. Go to the ghetto. That's how you get ahead in life. Man, what kind of backwards Alice in Wonderland shit is this? People, this is the last leg of my rat race for the week. So let's get started. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell. Fuck you, Twitter. Utilize the PayPal link. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.